Genuine Truth here, and welcome to another episode of Otaku Evolution. It's time we look at an anime that's a bit more recent than most of my picks. Okay, not that recent, it came out almost a decade ago. Where does time go? I still think of Full Metal Alchemist is fairly new. Anyhoozle, not too long ago a new talent began to emerge. She had already worked a bit on Samurai Champloo, but she didn't get more creative control until she directed a 22-episode 2008 TV series called Michiko and Hatchin. And since then, she's gone on to helping revive the Loop on the Third franchise's Edge, and scored a big hit with her love story skating anime Yuri on Ice. I'm talking about the super talented rising star that is Sayo Yamamoto. It's too bad that the studio that produced today's subject, Studio Manglobe, has since folded. I guess I'll never see any more Gangsta. I really like that one too. I could take or leave Dead Man Wonderland and Samurai Flamenco. But Michiko and Hatchin, it's an excellent series. Probably one of my favorite anime at this point, and rewatching it for this video just cemented its place. The first time I saw it was on the revived Toonami, where it seemed to have received a lukewarm reception, but I believe it's an underrated modern classic. Michiko and Hatchin takes place in the fictional South American country called Diamandra, obviously modeled after Brazil with its ever-present Portuguese writing and songs. It's not a very romantic view of Brazil, but there are bright spots here and there. The show follows escaped convict Michiko Malandro, a willful and tenacious woman looking for her ex-lover Hiroshi, and Hana, or Hatchin Morenos, Hiroshi's abandoned daughter who had been living in an abusive foster household until Michiko rescued her. Kind of both. Now, Hiroshi was said to have died 11 years ago in a bus explosion, but Hatchin's very existence is all the proof Michiko needs that her great love still lives.
It was all over the news. Hiroshi died in a bus explosion 11 years ago. Now tell me how old you are.
I'm 9 years old, but my birthday is next month.
So tell me this, Hana. What's 11 minus 9?
2.
That's right. Hold on.
You're not exactly a math whiz, are you?
Shut your mouth! I know what I'm talking about here. Don't make me sound stupid.
Michiko met Hiroshi when he was climbing the ladder in the Monster Preto gang with his more ambitious friend Satoshi. She was immediately smitten with him and even acted on his behalf against the rival group. When the rival group's leader wound up found dead, she was suspected, and for that, among other things, she was sent up the river by her old friend Atsuko. In the present, Atsuko and the police continue to pursue her even as she pursues Hiroshi, racking up the stars in her own version of GTA.
Lean in for a sec. You don't want your men to hear this. Come on. It's the words you've been waiting for. Back off, boys. You know, we should do this more often, Atsuko. Take care. Hold on tight.
Complicating things is Satoshi Batista, now head of Monstro, who has no time or patience for Michiko and blames her for the dissolution of his friendship with Hiroshi and his subsequent death. He does not want her interfering with his work and is more than willing to make a deal with the law to get her off his back. This deal does not go well, and so he has even more targets for his wrath. And this guy can be pretty vicious.
Clearly you don't know who I am. Since when has this shit had a market on my turf? I thought I left Bonfire in charge around here. Call him. Tell him Big Chief Satoshi wants to see him. Or I'm gonna show you the shortest path to fucking paradise.
The road to Hiroshi is fraught with dangers for Michiko and Hatchin, from gangs to child traffickers and even assassins. Add to that, they don't always get along so well. Hatchin is less than thrilled with Michiko's habitual moral lapses.
I've seen you make too many people cry with the way you act. Like just the other day, when you threatened that poor old mechanic. I really hated that.
That's how grown-ups, negotiate.
What, with a wrench in their hand? I can't stand it anymore. Any of it.
At one point, the two become separated for a few episodes, with Michiko off trying to get access to Satoshi, only to end up captured by him and making a desperate escape, while Hatchin joins a traveling circus that ends up having nefarious plans for her. At this time, she meets a girl named Rita who's infatuated with her act partner. The episode examines the often tragic, precocious crushes of youth, and it's not the only one. In another episode, Hatchin is the subject of a young man's crush. Hatchin's awkwardness and suspicion makes her distance herself, and due to circumstances, just as she's warming to him, he forgets all about her. For a show that is often extremely cynical to the point of hopeless pessimism, there's occasionally a touch of tenderness to keep it from chasing out all the light, as Michiko comforts her young charge.
What's wrong?
I was actually happy. Michiko, it hurts so much. Why?
For all their feuding and occasional partings, Michiko and Hatchin come to care a great deal for each other. While it's arguable at first that Michiko is using Hatchin to get to Hiroshi, she ends up fighting tooth and nail to reunite with her in hopes that they both reunite with Hiroshi someday. And Hatchin, for her part, comes to want to protect the kind of naive belief in Hiroshi that Michiko has, which over time seems contrary to reality. Hatchin knows that her father isn't the great guy that Michiko insists he is, but she'll do what she can to protect Michiko's smile.
He was such a charismatic man, I had to go say hello. I asked him to come on my TV show and play my rival. But much to my chagrin, he passed on the offer.
I tried to convince him, but he kept telling me about the beautiful woman who meant so much to him. I used every negotiating trick in the book, but alas, Hiroshi refused every time. Michiko, I know he's still out there waiting for you.
Don't lose hope. Keep searching. You'll still get your happy ending. Okay?
The world of Diamandra is a dangerous, harsh place full of gangs, grifters, the destitute, and the cruel. Often there are no happy endings for the people looking for a better future, as in the case of Pepe Lima, the stripper looking to leave town. And sometimes even the bad people are swallowed whole by the even worse people, in a way that garners sympathy, such as the fake Satoshi that Michiko encounters. But there's not just gloom and horrors, even if there are many hard trials. There are even some to call comrades, or people who might help on a whim. Even the assassins can be pretty friendly, all things considered.
We gotta postpone this. The cops are on our butts. Wanna ride? You'll have to leave that, though. Can't have you blowing my brains out in the car, right?
Fine.
There are a couple of dynamic character relationships I want to mention aside from our two main characters with each other. One is Michiko's relationship with Atsuko. Another is Satoshi's relationship with Shinsuke, his lieutenant and eventual target. These add another dimension to the complex character dynamics of the series. Michiko and Atsuko grew up in the same orphanage and they have a long, complicated relationship. Atsuko is implied to have her own romantic feelings towards Michiko, which Michiko has brushed off. But her main frustration is that Michiko continues to pursue Hiroshi, despite all the evidence that he's an irresponsible flake. She tries to get Michiko to see that her love for Hiroshi has brought her down a bad road, but Michiko is too determined to reunite with him. Your heart breaks for her as she just can't talk sense into her childhood friend.
O barulho do refrigerador me acorda, não me deixa sonhar. Com uma nova temporada da das frutas.
Besides Hiroshi, who Satoshi met when they were children, the closest person to him is Shinsuke, his second-in-command. But after Shinsuke sneaks a gun onto Michiko for her meeting with Satoshi, Monstro's boss takes it as a coup attempt and spends most of the time trying to kill him. Shinsuke resents having done most of the grunt work for Satoshi during his rise up the ranks, while getting little credit. Satoshi is almost nostalgic recalling that Hiroshi understood him better, and ultimately forces Shinsuke into a no-win scenario.
Hang in there. Just 5 minutes longer. Get up. I guess we were both wrong about what you could do. Shinsuke, what the fuck happened to you?
But I'm spoiling a bit too much, aren't I? Sorry, I just love so much about this show. The music, for instance, produced by Shinichiro Watanabe, and featuring the work of Brazilian musical artist Alexandre Hatchin. There are some great musical moments in the series, often punctuating the most provocative and emotional moments with excellent atmosphere.
Tell me, does this man love you back?
He has to. I'm all he's got.
If that's true, then where is he?
Shut up. Shut up.
Cause I wouldn't leave. I could never hurt a woman like you. So, what's your name?
Michiko. Malandro.
It also doesn't hurt that Michiko is a super badass. I mean, she's not just stubborn, but she's got a lot of fight in her. It's not clear where she got it, maybe just growing up a punk necessitated the learning, but she's not bad with her hands and feet. More than that, her endurance is excellent. She can take a beating but keep on going. It takes a lot to put her down and she never stays down for very long. Hatchin's got a few moves herself. In the world of Michiko and Hatchin, everyone's got to have a little punk in them to get by. So as you can see, this is a series that has a lot to offer. The conclusion is a bit, well, a tad anticlimactic in some ways, but in other ways, a fitting capper on Michiko's journey for her ideal love. Even if Michiko doesn't see it, it's clear that Hiroshi is the type of guy who gets real excited at a new prospect, but eventually flitters away. Hatchin comes to realize that the journey with Michiko was the most important thing. She never really needed her father the way she came to care for Michiko, and vice versa. And as long as they have each other, they'll be just fine, even if that ideal future isn't waiting. I hope I convinced those of you who haven't seen this to see it, and those of you who have to rewatch it, because it's an anime that's become near and dear to me. It proves that while most of my favorite anime was made decades ago, the medium is still churning out great works. Anyway, that's it for this episode of Otaku Evolution. I'd better gear up for next time, because I have to review the English dubs of the anime I've covered thus far this year. Until then, see ya!
Baby, don't go. I think I'm in love with you.
Move the hand or I'll clobber you.
Yeah, I like it rough. For real, when you kicked me in the balls, you gave my heart a reach around.
You got fucking issues.
How far shall we go this time? Michiko.